Hello and welcome to this demo video. Before we get started, I'd just like to explain to you a few things which will relate to all of the basic range spreadsheets. Number one, there is a key on the intro and setup tab of all of the spreadsheets showing what the different color headers mean. The blue headers mean that the cell's formulated, so it's locked and you can't change it. The yellow headers are where you can input data, and occasionally there might be some gray headers, which is just a different kind of data input, but we'll include instructions as and when that happens. The other thing that you can be aware of is there are ways in which you can damage the spreadsheet. So please do take a look at the link where you see this image, which will take you to a web page to show you how to better preserve your spreadsheet. Please feel free to keep a blank version of the spreadsheet somewhere, so that if you do mess up a spreadsheet that you're using, you can in fact just open a new one, a blank one. And some of the spreadsheets only last for a year, and then you've got a blank one to start the following year. So do keep a blank copy as a backup somewhere. And lastly, wherever you see this image, you can click on it. It'll take you back to the store where you purchased this product to see if you've got anything, any more products. One last thing, to see a demo video, you can click on this on a link that looks like this in order to go to the demo video, but that'll take you to the most recent demo. If in fact we've done upgrades and you're using an older version and you'd like to see the demo relating to your version, then do click on the watch on YouTube link, which will take you to that specific video on YouTube. So I think that's all you need to know. So without further ado, let's move on to this demo video. Thank you. Hello and welcome to the demo for the giving tracker. This is a spreadsheet that I've made to help people to track the giving that they do, whether it be to charities or individuals or whatever. Let me just first explain, this isn't something to track necessarily monthly giving. You know, when you're giving £2 a month, you could put it in here, but you'd have to enter it every month, and as you would normally as it goes out of your bank account. What this is more designed for is for those of us who give larger amounts less frequently. So instead of giving £2 a month, maybe you give £100 this month to that charity and so much the next month to a different charity, that kind of thing. And you just want to monitor where the money's going, and more importantly for me, what you're actually giving towards. So let me show you how the spreadsheet works. It's a free download, so you've probably downloaded it already. Or you can do so, and then just follow this video and I'll show you how it works. You can put your personal name or business name in here. It doesn't go anywhere other than on the spreadsheet. And then you can list giving categories. I think I've got what, 6, 12, 15 spaces here, thereabouts. And you can put in all of the categories that you want to categorize. So for argument's sake, I prefer to put the positive thing that you're giving towards rather than what you're giving to try and end. So for argument's sake, if you were giving for housing to try and get the homeless into houses, I put down as housing rather than homeless. I just like to put the more positive side, what you're giving towards rather than what you're giving into. So I've just put a few examples down here that you could use. You can put in whatever you want. Just don't put in any duplicates. You can list up to 15 categories there for your giving categories, and then you can categorize all of the charities and your giving accordingly. Once you've set that up, you're ready to go. What you need then is a list of your charities. You can list them here. Again, don't put any duplicates in. It'll flag up if you do. List your charities. And then you can select which category they are primarily in, which will then just save you from doing it each time you give to that charity. You can put a link in here. I've put in numbers temporarily. It's just clear that. You put in a website link. As you do so, it'll create a hyperlink that you can click on and go to the website. And then if you want to, you can use the bank account and sort code for their details if you need to give to them. Just be aware of where you store the spreadsheet if you've got sensitive information in here. But a lot of these charities have the bank accounts on their website, which means that they're quite happy with people knowing what they are. But just do be careful about that. Then what this does is it tallies up how many times you've given, what the value is, and the percentage of the total that you've given to each charity. So it just keeps a running total. This section in blue, I'll come back to in a minute. We'll see what happens when I get to the report. Then, so this list is what we call a static table. Essentially, if you get new charities, you add them on, but you're not necessarily
adding onto this one all the time. This is just where you add on any new charities that you give to as and when you add them to your list. The next tab is the one where you're most frequently going to be filling things in. Each time you give, put in the date, select the charity. As you do that, this category here tells you, this column here tells you which category it's using based on the charities tab. Or you can say, well, actually, in this case, yes, charity G usually is clothing, but in this case, I'd like to give it to them for their other project, which is food or whatever. And then as you see there, it'll change. So you can use that to override, but if that's correct, you can leave that blank. And then lastly, just put in the amount, the amount of money that you've given on that occasion, put that in, and then just keep that list going. You can use these little blocks at the top to sort if you want to sort by date or sort by charity or amount or whatever it is that you want to sort by in order to see what's going on. But this one is one that you keep going, really just keep it going as long as you're giving. You can start a new spreadsheet each year or whatever it is that you want, or you can keep it for longer. It's up to you. Next one is the targets. Now you can create as many targets as you wish. So all you do is you put in a start date and end date and a target value. So what this is I've just used random dates here, so I don't read too much into these dates. In fact, all the data on the spreadsheet is all just randomly created, so I wouldn't read anything into any of it. But you might put in a start date, for argument's sake, 1st of June to the 30th, the 1st of June to the end of June, or 1st of July to the end of July, or per week, or whatever it is, whatever period you want to monitor and see if you've given what you've given according to your budget. If you do actually set yourself a target. If you don't, then you can leave the sheet blank. But if you do, you can put any date range. So each line is a new target. Put in the start date, the end date, and the target value. And then what that'll do is that'll monitor how much money was actually given during that period and show you where you are on your time. So you can see some of these we've just started here with 12.7% in on time and 15.3% in on percentage giving. So we're ahead on giving. So you can see straight away where you are. Some of these ones here, like these two over here, we've got to 100% of the time, but we only reached 98.8 to 97.2% of the target, those kind of things. And then here you can see it gives a breakdown of that money as to which categories it's gone into. So you can see where your money's actually, where this money's actually gone. So that's where you set up the target, everything to the right. Remember, the yellow headers or data entry, the blue ones all over here, all automated. Again, this light blue section is not in use. I'll show you what that is in a minute. That'll all become clear. But the last tab, which is completely automated except for 2 cells, is the report. So the report shows you a breakdown here. There are all the colors. You can see what they relate to: clothing, employment, food, so on and so forth. You can see the value given, what percentage that is, how many times, the count is how many times you gave. So you can see a breakdown here. It's fairly even. As I said, I've used random numbers, so I'm not surprised about that. And then here you can see, this is possibly the more interesting graph, these are all the targets that you set. So these are the targets hit. We hit 23 of the targets. The current ones that are on target is 6. The times we missed the target, so in other words, we've reached the date, but we missed the target, were 8. And the number of ones where we're actually behind target at the moment are 3. And then over here, we can see we've got 0 to 25. The lighter blue one, the more transparent one, is the current, the ones that are active, which we're still busy getting money in for. And the dark blue ones are the ones that are complete. So you can see we've had 8 times where we've got 75 to 100%. And then there have been 23 times where we've got over 100% of the target. So that gives you a breakdown of where you are. Now, this whole report, you can filter it. So let's just say we want to look at from the 1st of July to the 31st of July. Maybe you've got a meeting, maybe you want to reassess what you gave during that month, whatever the case might be. Here you can see a breakdown of the categories, the value given, the percentages of giving, and the count as per before. And if we scroll down, again, we can see at that point, so during that month, which projects essentially were either active or finished or complete during that month, and where were they. So this is where there were these transparent ones, again, were busy during that month. And here we can see one of them was 75% to 100%, and the rest were all over 100%. And there were 8 that were complete and hit budget, and 10 that were active. So that was obviously a good month. These figures at the top here are based on what was given during that month. But these figures here are based on projects that ended during the month. So some of these projects, obviously these completed ones may have started, and in fact the current ones may have started previously. But now when you go to your targets, you can see which targets were relevant. It grays out any that weren't. So you can see which targets are relevant. These values here don't show the total. So these values show that they're all kind of busy, but yet we've just looked at the report and seen a lot of these are finished. Like this one, for example. This one was, this one finished on the 27th of July. So this would have been complete. But these values here show the percentage of time that was taken during that month and the giving that was done during that month. So you can see in July, your actual giving was over and above the number of days. So by that stage, you had to hit 100% of the time, but it's only taking the time in July. So these figures are all only taking what happened in that month, as well as it changes these values as well to show where that money went to during the month of July. So all the figures that it actually creates are all based on your figures for just July. The only one that shows previous figures are these two graphs at the bottom here, where they show things that targets that were finished during that particular month. So we've got the targets. If you go to the giving, again, it says it's in blue. That blue's arrived now. This one, because you've got it in date order, it should all be in one batch. But if you scroll down to where it starts at July, there you can see it turns blue. So all the blue lines there are the ones that it's including. So you can see which ones are included. And again, at the charities, it shows you here how many times were given in July, what the value was in July, and the percentage. So this is a breakdown of what happened during that particular month. So you can not only see what happened per month, but you can also see what's happened overall. So just remember, everything is per month. These are the projects that completed during that given period. So yeah, that's the giving tracker. I wanted to give this away as a free download, because if you are giving, I wanted to give back to you, to give to others. So yeah, please use this, and I hope that it helps you, and I wish you all the best for your business going forward. Thank you very much, and goodbye.